I hope you're all having a great week and enjoying improving your English with us here on Verbally. Today's class is a speaking class and it's advanced level. So do come along in if you've booked a slot. If you would like to watch, you're very welcome to join us, and you can also comment. And our topic today is the future of language, which is obviously pretty important and relevant to most of us here on Verbling, because the whole point of this company is to help people learn another language. So what exactly is going to happen with language in the future? We're going to be discussing that with the use of a little interesting article which has some statistics about various languages and what could possibly happen as time goes on. So do come along in. While we're waiting for everybody to get here, if you are new to Verbling, or if you have only been with us for a short time, you might like to investigate some of the features that are available. So if you're watching this is a class, and this is where we have one teacher and several students, up to 9. But you can also access private tutoring sessions, which is basically where you have a class with a teacher, just you and the teacher, one-on-one. And we also have a new feature called tandem lessons, where you can save money by joining a private class of another student. So that's 2 students to 1 teacher. And all this info is available on the website. If you would like to investigate any of the teachers further and find out a little bit more about who we all are, the best place to go is to the teacher page. And you can just click on the teacher from the tutoring page, or you can click on the link that I've shared in the chat box, which will take you directly to my teacher page. And there you'll be able to see all sorts of different things, like welcome videos, some class excerpt videos, some reviews from other students, a calendar so you can see when the teacher's free. So lots of great information, and don't forget to check that out. If you are a Facebook addict, like some of us are, you might want to follow some of us on Facebook, and lots of the teachers share some really cool stuff on there, so don't miss that either. All right, so we're pretty much all here roughly now. I'm still waiting for a few more, but we're going to get started and say hello. So first of all, let's start with Hussein. Hello.
Hello, Amy.
It's nice to meet you. Have I met you before, Hussein?
I have participated in your class before, but it took a lot of time. I don't know.
It was a long time ago.
Yep.
All right, well, forgive me. It's lovely to see you again. And I love your picture, by the way. A kangaroo. Why did you choose a kangaroo?
I don't know. I like kangaroos.
Awesome. So it's lovely to see you, Hussein, and welcome.
Thank you so much.
Bruno, hello.
Hello, teacher. How are you?
I'm well, thank you, Bruno. Have I met you before?
No, I don't think so.
Wonderful. In that case, hello. It's nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
Where are you from, Bruno?
So I'm from Brazil.
Brazil. Wonderful. Which part of Brazil?
So I am originally from Brasilia.
Okay, you're from the capital.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're not there right now. You've moved.
Yeah, now currently I live in Toronto, Canada.
Yeah.
Okay,
so there's your reason for learning English, I'm guessing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, wonderful. It's lovely to meet you. We're going to be talking a little bit more about that topic shortly, but first of all, I'm just going to say hi to everybody. So welcome, Bruno.
Thank you. Welcome. Thank you.
Jer, hello. How are you today?
Hello, Amy. I'm good. Thank you for asking.
How's your week been going?
It was very good as well. I am traveling this week.
Yeah.
Yes, but I'll go back home tomorrow in the evening.
Okay. So where have you been traveling?
I am in São Paulo city. Yes, for a couple of days, and I am here for business. I have some meetings with customers and suppliers. And everything is going very well so far. It was a productive week.
Great, that's lovely to hear. I'm glad for you, Jer. I hope the rest of the week follows suit and is just as productive. And welcome to you.
Okay, thank you.
Giancarlo?
Hello, Amy. How are you? Yeah,
Well,
Giancarlo.
thank you. I don't think I've met you before, have I?
Yes, I met you some months ago.
Okay.
And I've been taking your classes, but I didn't have the opportunity to take your classes again because of my job. But I am from Mexico. It's nice to see you.
Thank you. It's lovely to see you too. I'm sorry, Giancarlo, that maybe I don't have a memory, but it might come back to me as we get to know each other a bit better, and it's great to see you. So what's your job, Giancarlo? What's taken you away from Verbling?
I'm sorry?
What's your job?
I can hear you.
Ah, you can't hear me. Let's just see. Can the rest of you still hear me okay?
Yeah, it is my mic, teacher. It is my mic. Sorry.
Okay, no worries.
Can
I
you
just
repeat
wondered, what was your job that takes you away traveling or something?
Well, I am working in a family company here in Mexico, but I am planning to work in the hotel industry in some months more, in the north part of Mexico. Now I am just trying to get some certifications because it is a must. It is required to have a good level of English in order to work in those kind of hotels. It's a chain of hotels where I want to work, and I am very optimistic to be there in some months more, maybe one year. I think I am thinking about that. I am considering to be there in just 1 year more. I think because nowadays it's more important to get my certifications to finish my my courses, and after that maybe I'll be there.
Okay, wow, it sounds like you've got a good plan. Well, best of luck with your plan. I hope it goes well for you, Jean.
Thank you so much, Amy.
All right. Julian, how are you today?
Hi, Amy. Fine, very good. And you?
Yeah, I'm great, thank you. Has your week been a good week so far?
Yes, it's going well.
Wonderful.
Okay. I'm working now in my new job. I'm trying to understand the process and the behavior of the people in this at the new job. But now everything is okay.
All right, so it's going well.
Yeah.
Excellent. Very glad to hear that too. Welcome to you, Julian. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Ksenia. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Any exciting news to share with us today?
I think not any, but I almost finished my book, so it's very excited in the end.
Ah, you're getting to the end of a good book. That is quite exciting. What book are you reading?
It's not very good. It's a new bestseller from Leon Moriarty. I don't know. It's difficult to say. It's Husband's Secret.
Ah, okay. And what kind of book is it? Like a mystery or?
Like a novel.
Pardon?
Novel.
It's a novel.
Roman novel, yes.
Okay, awesome. Well, I love finding a good book. It's very satisfying. It doesn't happen that often, so that's something quite nice, Ksenia. It's lovely to see you. Welcome. Excuse me. Who else do we have? Monica, hello.
Hello.
Hi. I vaguely remember meeting a Monica, but I'm not sure if it was you, Monica. Have I met you before?
Just one time, so with my yes.
Just one time. Okay, so I must remember your name for something. And where are you from?
I'm from Italy.
Italy, yes. Okay, I remember. How's everything going, Monica? Is your life going okay?
Yeah, it's pretty much okay.
English learning okay?
Yes, I'm trying to do them as much as I can every day.
Well, that sounds good. That sounds great. So it's lovely to see you. We're going to be talking about English a lot today, so I'm going to come back to you all in a moment. But welcome to you, Monica.
Thank you.
And then we have Ruxia or Rusia, I'm not sure.
Yeah, Rusha.
Hello, Rusha.
Hello.
It looks like a Chinese name.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
Yeah. I'm from China.
Wonderful. Which part of China?
Shanghai.
Ah, well, everybody knows where Shanghai is. That's
Yeah.
awesome. It's nice to meet you. So, tell me a little bit about yourself, Rusha. What are you up to?
I'm actually currently living in the U.S. But I've been in the U.S. for quite a long time, over 10 years. My spoken English never improved. Yeah, I wish. Yeah, there's not much opportunity for me to speak with native speakers, even though you feel like you are in a foreign country, but you don't. Yeah, you don't speak a lot with native speakers.
Do you have lots of Chinese friends or Chinese-speaking friends?
Not really. Yeah.
Okay, so I know that this is strange because you think, if you go to another country, then you're just automatically going to learn the language, but that is so not true. You have to really work hard to meet people and practice and improve, so I totally understand, Rusha. It's lovely to meet you, and I wish you better luck with your English. Sounds good to me, I must say.
Thank you.
And last but not least, Anna, how are you today?
Hello, Amy. I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Great. I'm well. Have you got any exciting news? Are you reading a good book like Xenia, or?
No, I've been busy working, studying. Same old.
Same old. All right. Well, it's great to have you all here. We're going to be talking about the future of language today. I found an interesting article which has lots of statistics on it about which languages are doing what, basically. So I thought it'd be fun to talk about because obviously this is extremely relevant to us all. So the first question I just want to ask is, let's pool our reasons. Obviously, I'm not learning English, but I have learnt languages. What are the reasons for you learning a language, first of all, and also specifically English? Why are you learning English? What is the main reason, or what are the side reasons? So if anyone wants to start, we'll just have a little brainstorm, and I'm going to put some ideas into the chat box. So would anyone like to volunteer a couple of reasons to get us going?
I can.
Yeah.
Thank you.
First of all, I need some hobby to kill my time, because recently I was very boring. I didn't know what to do, so I just eat a lot. So I decided to learn English.
So it's a weight loss program for you, Xenia?
Yeah, some kind of.
Wonderful. Okay, so as a hobby, great. That's an excellent reason because it means you have lots of motivation. Thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead.
Okay. I am interested in learning English because I like to go to Europe to do a master, and it's necessary to do this master in English.
Okay.
It's now it's very common the master talk in English in several countries, and it's an easy way to share information and to share the culture with other people.
Okay, so I'm going to put overseas studies as one, and then maybe information sharing. Does that sound good?
Yes. Know about the culture, know other people, talk with other people.
Yeah.
That is share information. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. That's an interesting one that I hadn't really thought about, Julian. Thank you. Okay, who's next?
May I? Okay.
Study English.
Oh, okay. Just a
It's a
sec.
history question.
So I think there was a problem with the microphone there for a second. Was that you, Rusha, talking just a second ago?
Yeah, I took
Okay.
a second ago because
Could you repeat?
I know
'Cause we didn't
everyone
hear
knows.
it.
Oh, okay, sorry. I know everyone knows language is just for communication, so we wanted to have a universal language just for the world, right? But why pick English? That's a historical reason. There's a historical reason because British was a very strong, like advanced country long time ago, and now it's United States. So all these countries use English. So there's people go to China to do just a business, but seldom do people learn Chinese, even though there's a huge market there. But rather, people in China need to learn English. There's just I think there's some historical reason. It's because when first people thought about the communication, it's more depend on how strong the country is. So why not pick up any, like for example, you can say, I guess also it also depend on the coverage. I know China has a lot of population, but the coverage, even though Chinese is a huge country, like from the area, but I guess like for if you add up U.S. and England and Australia and some other speaking countries, it's kind of similar. But I do know Spanish also is a huge population. That's why it's also getting a lot of people begin to study Spanish. But I still don't know why. I think I still thought it's a historical reason because the country are stronger. That's why people want to study.
Absolutely. Thank you, Rusha. Very interesting and true. And it is quite fascinating how it's come about and how English has suddenly become, I suppose, like the sought-after language of communication. You're absolutely right. It's not so much to do with the number of people, but maybe history and coverage. I like your word choice. Thank you. Okay, anybody else? I think Jer was hoping to say something.
Yes, I am studying English for and travel, and now I started to study Spanish as well as a hobby. And in the beginning, it was because the business, but today I appreciate a lot to study languages like English and Spanish.
Okay, why do you appreciate it a lot, Jer?
Because for professional reasons, I can find a lot of information in English. In the past, I was looking for it in Portuguese, and sometimes I was researching for a subject, and I could find 10 articles. I look in English or Spanish.
Absolutely, that's a great point.
Yes, and today it is a hobby, and I set a goal to speak English very well in 5 years, maybe, and Spanish in 3 years. So, and I'm very excited because today I have a purpose, I have a goal, and I feel more confident and more motivated to study every single day 1 or 2 hours of English or Spanish. And yes, and I'm in track. I'm on track now.
Congratulations. That's great, Jer. It's great to have to set a particular goal like that, so you have something to keep you going, because it's definitely not easy to learn a language. We're going to come to that shortly. So anybody else like to mention a few reasons why they're learning English that we haven't covered yet?
I agree with that. I started learning mainly because of the traveling thing, but now that I'm learning more and more English, I appreciated the fact that I have the possibility to widen my mind, to having access of a lot of tools in English on the internet, having the possibility to read a lot of things, and also to get in contact with people from all over the world and get to know their culture and have the possibility to interact with them.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Monica. That's a great reason. So, like a wider access to different things, information, people, tools. It opens up another part of the world to you, I guess.
Yes.
Which I think is true definitely for me. I mean, I'm a native English speaker, but I found the same thing when I learned other languages and what my worldview kind of changed. So it's quite interesting. Thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, I think it's my turn, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like everybody said, I think most people said, I agree on that. I think that I started learning English because of my career.
Yeah.
But now it became a challenge for me. So I like challenge. It's very challenging learning. To learn a language, and that's why. In my case. That's my reason.
Excellent. Great. It's definitely a challenge, Bruno. There's no getting around that for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anybody else like to add anything before we move on? No? Okay, so what we've got really is a list of really positive reasons for learning English, or maybe more generally learning another language, because a lot of those points apply to different languages as well. Let's look at the other side of the coin now, because obviously, you know, as some of us have mentioned, Bruno just mentioned it was a challenge, but I know that at times it can be extremely challenging and often quite tough. There are some disadvantages, and you have to make a huge investment of time and money. What do you think are the things that put people off learning another language? What is it that you struggle with on your low days? So let's share the disadvantages. Does anyone want to start off with anything that they find quite hard? It could be specifically about English, or it could be just in general other languages, trying to learn another language.
Can I?
Yes, please, go.
Something? Yeah, I feel it's particularly hard for Asian people. I actually don't know about other countries, but in China, for Chinese, we don't have we sort of have tense, but we don't modify the word. So that's why when I speak, I usually just make mistake about the tense and make mistake about she or he, and it's just so difficult for me to correct.
Yep. Good point. I remember the exact same problem when I was learning Chinese, Rusha. It's like trying to erase a whole part of grammar and then figure out how you guys talk about the past and the future, because it was so hard for me to understand how you could do that without verb tenses. And it's like backwards of what you say. So good point. Let's say maybe very different grammar to your native language, which makes you have to learn another whole way of thinking about language, maybe.
Yeah, you can do in writing or reading or listening, there's no problem, but when you speak, it's just so hard to remind yourself to do the correct grammar.
Yes. Okay, great first point. Thank you. Anybody else?
Yes. Can I? Right?
Yep. Go ahead, Julian.
Okay. I think for me, the most challenging features when I start to learn English is translate the phrases in English to Spanish. When you start, you try to understand, in this case English, and you try to translate everything to Spanish to understand these sentences and understand the ideas. The challenge is cut off this action and start to think in English. That is think in English, or think in another language.
Absolutely. Julian, that's one of the toughest things, I think. You're absolutely right. And it's just a natural thing to do, but it actually makes it harder for you if you continue. Yes, let me repeat the question, okay, for those of you who aren't following. So basically, what we're talking about at the moment is the disadvantages or the challenges or the obstacles to actually learning another language. What's the downside? So let's see what Hussein has to say. Hussein, have you got any ideas?
No, not quite.
So you find it just
Yes.
completely a wonderful experience in every way?
Yep. I started learning English at university, and I don't know. They forced me to learn in the first at first in the first time, but then I started learning English to understand all the world, because English is a universal language right now, and you have to learn a language to understand other people,
Yeah.
and that's why I learn English.
And are you glad about having learned it, Hussein, or is it a bit of a pain?
No, I'm glad. Yeah, not
All
pain.
right.
I don't
No
consider
pain.
it as a pain. Yeah,
Okay, wonderful.
it's
That's a
a
great positive attitude.
it's kind of hobby for me.
Awesome. That's good to hear. Who else?
Okay.
Anna, do you have any pet hates about learning English or another language?
Yes, teacher. Prepositions are my
Okay.
nightmare because we just have 18 prepositions in Portuguese,
Uh-huh.
and in English you have a never-ending list, and the rules are there is no rule at all. It's very difficult for me, and also the tone that I convey when I am speaking. I don't know the way I am sounding.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's difficult.
Okay, so there are definitely specific things about each language that are tough. What about general things such as the investment of money that you have to put into this, or the amount of time it takes up in your life? Does anyone feel that that is quite a big problem or
Uh,
inconvenience?
yes, teacher. I would like to say that, for example, my mother tongue is Spanish. I live in Mexico. I was born here in Mexico. And I began to study English some years ago. But the most hardest part, the most hardest point here in Mexico is that most of the people, of course, speak Spanish. And when we enter into a school where English is taught, most of the teachers are Mexican teachers. There are very good teachers, I can't deny that, of course. I have learned a lot from them. But it's a little bit different when you practice the language with a native speaker, an English native
Mhm.
speaker, than a Mexican teacher. The first one, a Mexican, when you learn English from, I mean, with a Mexican teacher,
Mhm.
it's something not natural, you know?
Yeah.
And when you speak English, when you practice your English with an American English or British English, it's more natural because
Mhm.
words come out easy. It's a more natural style, etc. For that reason, I'm taking classes here with you
Mhm.
because you use a natural grammar, a natural structure, a natural phrases, etc.
Yep.
Talking about money and talking about some other negative aspects, talking about English, I am taking right now, I am taking classes here in Berlin, but at the same time, I am taking some courses in order to get a certification. Well,
Mhm.
imagine that in order to take my classes every day from Monday to Thursday, 1 hour and a half,
Yep.
I need to commute 1 hour and a half. I mean, in total, 3 hours
Mhm.
commuting because the school is a little bit far away from home. So it is quite stressful because I need to get up really, really early, 30 after 4 a.m. because yeah, because the class starts around 7. Of course, the class is very interesting because it's a British teacher. And it's quite different, because, for example, another important point is that, for example, I can see you, but you are behind my screen, you know, and it's a little bit cold
Mhm.
because now I am taking classes in the morning with this British teacher, and it's a little bit different. I can feel it. For
Yeah.
example, last class he was a little bit stressed, I think, and I asked him, "Okay, teacher, how are you?" And he said, "Okay, I'm fine, Giancarlo, fine." Why? Because, okay, it's a little bit more personal, taking
Mhm.
classes person face to face.
Yep.
But of course, the information he gave us I consider the information I got from him a little bit more useful. Not exactly useful, but I want to say that, for example, it has a special connotation because I am in the moment, and we can speak about that topic, and we can spread information in a group, and it's a little bit complicated, I know, but it's a little bit different taking classes face to face than in front of a camera. It's
Absolutely.
I think that those things are a little bit difficult in order to learn a language.
Yeah, for sure. I think you bring up some great points, Giancarlo, and really no situation is perfect, I suppose. You have to sort of, I guess what you're doing is a mixture of both, which is great because you get a bit of the best of both things, maybe. All right, so we've covered a few ideas. What we're going to do is take a look at the article about the future of language. So if you'd like the link is now in the chat box. You can feel free to load it up and have a quick look, and we're going to read some of it together to see what's going on. So we've mentioned some of the points in here already, and we're just going to practice our reading a little bit. And I'm going to ask for a volunteer to read the first little part for us.
May I?
Yeah, please go ahead. So I'd like you to just read maybe the first couple of paragraphs, please.
Okay. To some extent, Americans have an advantage over much of the world's population. The country's two most widely spoken languages, English and Spanish, are among the most widely spoken worldwide. So, are Americans still willing to take language classes? The number of American students who learned a language other than English decreased by about 100,000 between 2009 and 2013, according to research by the Modern Language Association. For many, economics might seem more beneficial than a French course, but is it really?
Great, thank you. Beautiful reading. Thanks so much, Jeff. I might just see if I can zoom in a bit. Sorry if that was a bit challenging to see. Okay, so we've just had a little intro, and this is maybe something that Rusha touched on a little bit. I have my own opinion about this because I think, yes, perhaps if you speak a language natively, you do have an advantage. But it does depend on the person, in my opinion, because I think actually there are very big benefits for learning a language just because of the process that you have to go through and the way that you have to think and the commitment that you have to have. That's just my own personal opinion. We're just going to carry on reading and then we'll discuss this a little bit amongst ourselves. So another volunteer?
To read?
May I?
Yes, please. So I missed who those people were. Who is the guy who just said to read?
It was me, but it's okay.
Bruno, so if you could go ahead, and then who was the second person who wanted to read?
Me, Monica.
Monica? Okay, Monica, I'll give you the next part, okay? So Bruno, if you could read this one for us.
Okay. The Chinese dialects combined already have more native speakers than any other language, followed by Hindi and Urdu, which have the same linguistic origins in northern India. English comes next with 527 million native speakers. Arabic is spoken by nearly 100 million, more native speakers than Spanish, which has 389 million speakers.
Thank you. Lovely reading from you too, Bruno.
Okay.
So when you look at the statistics for the number of speakers, it's interesting because it's quite difficult to actually to find a figure that's, you know, static for one thing, but also this is talking about native speakers, and when you include those people who speak these languages as a second or third language, the numbers change. So it's quite difficult. It's interesting here that they mention Arabic. I'm just wondering, is Hussein still here? He's gone. I was going to ask him. I think Arabic's his native language. Does anyone here speak Arabic? No? All right, we'll skip past that part. Okay, so we've got a little bit of a map here. So I'm going to ask Monica, sorry. Monica, could you read out the little sections on this map so that we can see how many people speak each language?
Of the 7.2 billion people on Earth, nearly 2/3 speak one of these 12 languages as their native language.
Brilliant.
Should I read that?
No, I think we can see this by ourselves, Maria. So if you just have a quick look at that, guys. These 12 are the top languages. Are there any surprises for anybody in there? No? Okay. Monica, could you continue reading for a little while?
Which languages will dominate the future? Prediction vary depending on your location and purpose. But here are a few ways to approach this question. You want to make them...
Okay, sorry, Monica. We're just going to pause because it's going to delve into some different areas of life now, just for a second. So, the language of the future, what does it involve? What part, why do you want to learn the language is a key question that you need to ask yourself to find out which language that you need to focus on. So let's carry on. Monica, you continue reading, and we'll just read this first part of this section here.
You want to make money in growth markets? There will be your languages. In a recent UK-focused report, the British Council, a think tank, identified more than 20 growth markets and their main languages. The report features languages spoken in the so-called BRIC countries, Brazil, Russia, India, China, that are usually perceived as the world's biggest emerging economies, as well as more niche growth markets that are included in lists produced by investment bank Goldman Sachs and services firm Ernst & Young.
Thank you, lovely. Monica, this word here is pronounced niche if you're British and niche if you're American, okay?
And what does it mean? I don't know this yet.
Good question. Does anyone know what this word means?
It's an ecological term, just a position that creature find most suitable for creature.
Okay, yes, so it's used in economics, absolutely. Basically, it means a very, very small area of expertise. So it's something that you specialize in, basically, Monica, okay? You could say maybe specialist growth markets instead of niche growth markets. Okay, that would be roughly the same meaning. Okay, anyone else volunteer to read?
I can read
Thank you.
The next one. Spanish and Arabic score particularly highly on this indicator, the British Council report concluded for the UK. However, when taking into account demographic trends until 2015 as laid out by the United Nations, the result is very different.
Could you just read the little title of this chart?
Languages spoken in fastest growing emerging economies ranked by demographic prospects. In millions of inhabitants living in countries with emerging economies by 2050, numbers are approximations.
Thank you, lovely. Yep, do you want to summarize that for us, Rusha? Can you see it well enough?
I think Chinese is spoken by China. It's a language in China, and Haiti is a language in India, right?
Yep, absolutely right. Yes.
So they're just I think they mentioned that the four different economies. Yeah, the Russia, China, India,
Brazil.
Yeah.
The BRIC countries.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether that's true. I never heard about that. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, there's something new for you today. You rightly say, Rusha, this is a very controversial, ever-changing topic, so it's quite hard to pin anything down. Could somebody give us a really, really short little summary of what's happened so far in this article? What have we kind of found out? Anyone want to have a go? No? Maybe Ksenia? We haven't heard from you for a little while. Give it a go. What can you say? Because you're unlucky today, Ksenia.
Yes, I think so. I think we're speaking about languages in proportion with economics.
Yeah.
But I think that not only economics. I think it's just popularity of this country. Chinese is a large one with a big amount of people in here, in there. India is the same. I think it's all about how many people live in this country. No?
Yep, absolutely. Great. Which is only one way of looking at it, as we've already said. So thank you, Ksenia. Great summary. Let's carry on reading. Who would like to read?
I can.
Thank you. I'll zoom in again for you. There we go. From here.
Hindi, Bengali, Urdu, and Indonesian will dominate much of the business world by 2050, followed by Spanish, Portuguese, Arabic, and Russian. If you want to get the most money of your own language course, studying one of the languages listed above is probably a safe bet.
Thank you. And could you carry on down to here?
Of course, demographic developments are hard to predict. Moreover, the British Council only included today's growth markets, which says little about the growth potential of other nations that are still fairly small today. Also, Arabic and Chinese, for instance, have many dialects and local versions, which could make it harder for foreigners to communicate. Despite all that, the chart above gives a broad look into which linguistic direction the business world is developing, away from Europe and North America and more toward Asia and the Middle East.
Thank you. Lovely reading, Ksenia. Great reading today, everybody. Any questions from those paragraphs?
No.
Okay. I just want to ask Rusha, we've just read a little sentence that says, for instance, Chinese has many dialects and local versions which could make it harder for foreigners to communicate. What do you think about that? Is that true?
It's partially true. So there's many dialects. In each province has its own dialect, but most people they can speak the Mandarin, which is just the common language spoken by Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
So I think whoever, it's just like it's not accent, but it just sounds different, but the written language is the same.
Okay, thank you.
And I think, most people can speak the universal language in China. So if you want to learn Chinese, you just learn Mandarin. So I don't think you need to learn the dialect. The dialect, people, for example, I can speak my own dialect, and I can also speak Mandarin, the universal language. That's particular. That's just I think just for most Chinese, it's like this. They can speak the dialect and also the universal language.
Okay, thank you. A question for all of you now, just to answer one by one. We've got a few different native languages here, so just think about your native language. How valuable do you think for, say, me? I'm a native English speaker. How valuable do you think it would be for me to learn your native language? And if it would be valuable, why? And if it wouldn't be valuable, why not? So let's go to Anna. I haven't heard from you for a little while. How valuable do you think it would be for me to learn to speak Brazilian Portuguese?
I don't know. Before reading this article, I I thought it wouldn't be available at all. But since Portuguese is between um, between the five languages that are more important with emerging economies, I think it would be useful somehow.
Interesting. So reading this has actually changed your opinion, Anna?
Yes, Amy.
Okay, thank you. Interesting. What do you think, Bruno?
So, teacher, well, actually, so in my opinion, I think that it's all about your priorities. You know, like if you think that you are going to, I don't know, if your priority is your career, for example, you want to make money for that or something like that. So I don't know, maybe you have some kind of working line to work in Brazil or something like that. So you should study, of course. You know. I think that it's all about priorities. You know, it's a very personal thing. You know.
Okay.
I think that,
great point.
Yeah, people make decision about that. Everybody has their own preference, their own priorities, and they decide that.
Yeah, sure.
It's very simple like that. You know, that's all I have to say.
Okay, Jer, how about you?
I think to learn Brazilian Portuguese, it would be worth if you want to work for other companies that want to make business with Brazilians, for instance, it could be worth because Brazil is one of the countries that belong to BRICS, and maybe it will be a strong economy in the future. Now we are a strong economy, but we will be more representative in the future, maybe. And yes, to make business or to come to Brazil, maybe it would be an advantage. But as Bruno said, it is a question of priorities. For instance, if you speak English, maybe Spanish or other language, maybe okay. If you know other languages, you can learn Portuguese.
Okay, so as maybe a third language, you say, Jer?
Yes, for sure. Like me, for instance, I started to study English because it was more important for my career and for traveling around the world. But today I am learning Spanish as well because Spanish is similar, a little bit similar when we compare with Portuguese. And for me, it is not tough because I can have a good comprehension. I need to improve my ability or skill to speak accurately.
Absolutely.
Yes, for me it is a question of prioritize your time and money.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jer. Okay, Ksenia, how useful do you think it is for somebody like me to learn Russian?
I think it is no point for you to learn Russian because every children at our schools learn Russian from the first class. I think almost everyone could understand you and you can understand them. But if you want to read classic books in original, yes, you for sure should learn English, but we have a lot of synonyms for each word. I think one word have almost 10 their same meaning, but in the writing world, so it's very difficult, I think, to learn Russian. But it's possible.
Interesting point. That's cool, Ksenia. So if you're a really avid reader and you love classical literature, it might be worth it. All right, Monica.
Okay. I don't think it's useful to learn Italian because Italy is a small country and Italian is spoken only here. And that's why I'm pretty curious every time I met a person who is learning Italian. I actually asked to some people why they were learning Italian. And for example, two of them told me that they were learning Italian just because they loved Italy, loved our culture, our music, and the sound of this language.
Yeah.
And other people, for example, another person were learning it because she was applying for a company in her country, which was Czech Republic, for example, and the industry she was applying for was in Italian industry. So I
she had
think
specific reasons.
Yeah. For your personal interest or for your business, if you have to do business with Italy, it could be useful. But it's not a widely spoken language, so it's limited.
Yeah, for sure. Yes. Okay, good answer. Thanks, Monica. And lastly, Rusha, how useful is it for me, for example, to learn Chinese, do you think?
Actually, I don't think Chinese is widely used. I don't feel like, I just feel most people don't learn Chinese, but you do learn Chinese, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I was thinking even with the economic development, it's still, people are just used to English as a universal language. So I guess if you want to communicate with, because most people in China can speak English a little bit, because we started to learn English in elementary school.
Yeah.
As just a mandatory subject. But it's interesting. They now kind of the government. We used to have to take the English as a subject in the college entrance exam, but now suddenly they changed the policy, so it's no longer a part of the exam. So I guess I don't know why, the reason behind that. It's interesting, but I actually I'm now in New York, in New York City, and my daughter is attending a gifted talented just school, kindergarten. But they had a mandatory Mandarin class. That's what I feel pretty surprised. And I looked on the internet. A lot of parents are criticizing that. They thought it's not that useful because it's a difficult language and it's not that widely used, not like Spanish. So yeah, I also it's pretty rare. I never heard any school have Chinese as a mandatory class in elementary school.
Interesting point, Rusha, because over here in Australasia, so I live in New Zealand right now, and Australia as well, definitely is becoming more common for kids to learn Chinese. So even the local primary school just up the road from where I live, they learn Chinese now when they're about 10 or 11. Because I guess that the countries down here feel like we're a lot nearer China than maybe Europe or the States, who knows, and it is important. But you're right, it is, for a native English speaker, Chinese is a lot more difficult than, say, Spanish or French, which is sort of the traditional one. Just one last,
Yeah, just the Asian has different language system. I don't know about Middle East, but I guess Europe, they tend to be like French, Spanish. There's difference, but there's some similarities.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like another world. And the same for you when you come to learn a European language, I guess. The other way around. Just before we go, guys, just one last question that I kind of mentioned a little bit earlier. Apart from the obvious benefit that you can speak to people in another language, and that might have implications for your job or travel or whatever, do you think that you have gained any other skills or valuable things from just the process of learning another language? Do you think that it's unique in that you can't gain those particular skills from, say, just learning economics or maths or physics? Is language different, or do you think it's pretty much the same as anything else?
No, I think it's different in my opinion. I have read some things about that, and I think that when you start learning a language, at least it was the research that I read. So it said that it starts your neurons. You start making your neurons to do another connections, right?
Yep.
So it
make other connections.
yeah, make another connection, and you end up and actually it ends up increasing your memory capability. You know,
Yep.
like I think it's different, and I can note that ever since I started learning English, my memory increases a lot. Like I can remember a lot of things, and the more I study, the better my memory is. Like,
so you've got proof, you think, Bruno, that for you at least, it definitely helps your memory.
Yeah.
Okay. I must admit,
there are more benefits, but I would say
that's one big one.
Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah.
I think that I have to agree with you. I remember when I first started learning Chinese characters, I found it so difficult because I just didn't seem to have any reference point. It was like this completely foreign thing, and you just have to remember all these squiggles. But as I got to learning more and more, my memory became amazing. I could just learn 10 new words in 5 minutes or something. So I agree, Bruno. It really does improve if you use it. Does anyone else have anything to mention along that line? Other benefits to learning a language apart from speaking it?
May I? In my case, for instance, I had opportunity to review grammar in other languages like English and Spanish, and it helped me to speak more accurately.
You mean it helps you to speak more accurately in your own language? Or in those languages themselves, Jer? Are you still there? Oh, he's gone. Gone to quickly study his grammar. Are you still there, Jer?
Yes, I'm here. Okay.
Great. I lost you. So you were saying it helped you to speak better. Do you mean it helped you to speak better in your native language?
Yes, in Portuguese as well, because I have never liked to study grammar here in Brazil in Portuguese, and when I started learning a new language, I have to review the grammar in that language and compare with our grammar, Brazilian Portuguese grammar, and it helped me a lot to speak more clear and to correct some mistakes that I was doing in Portuguese. For me, it helped in this way as well.
Absolutely, great point. I've noticed it helps me to communicate better with people who don't have a good understanding of English. The fact that I know what it's like, and I can sometimes see why they make certain mistakes, and I can then understand them better than maybe somebody who's never learned another language before, perhaps. All right, guys, thanks for such an interesting discussion. We're going to have to go, just in case you've got another class next. If you do want to finish the article, it just has some more interesting stuff down the bottom, so do read that. If you've got any questions, head over to Facebook or write me a message. And I hope you have a great week. I might see some of you again tomorrow. Take care, guys.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
And all this info is available on the website. If you would like to investigate any of the teachers further and find out a little bit more about who we all are, the best place to go is to the teacher page. And you can just click on the teacher from the tutoring page, or you can click on the link that I've shared in the chat box, which will take you directly to my teacher page. And there you'll be able to see all sorts of different things like welcome videos, some class excerpt videos, some reviews from other students, a calendar so you can see when the teacher's free. So lots of great information, and don't forget to check that out. If you are a Facebook addict, like some of us are, you might want to follow some of us on Facebook. and lots of the teachers share some really cool stuff on there, so don't miss that either. All right, so we're pretty much all here roughly now. I'm still waiting for a few more, but we're going to get started and say hello. So first of all, let's start with Hussein. Hello.
Hello, Amy.
It's nice to meet you. Have I met you before, Hussein?
I have participated in your class before, but it took a lot of time. I don't know.
It was a long time ago.
Yep. That's
All
true.
right, well, forgive me. It's lovely to see you again. And I love your picture, by the way. A kangaroo. Why did you choose a kangaroo? I just wondered, what was your job that takes you away traveling or something?
Well, I am working in a family company here in Mexico, but I am planning to work in the hotel industry in some months more. In the north part of Mexico. Now I am just trying to get some certifications because it is a must. It is required to have a good level of English in order to work in those kind of hotels. It's a chain of hotels where I want to work, and I am very optimistic to be there in some months more. Maybe one year. I think I am thinking about that. I am considering to be there in just 1 year more. I think because nowadays it's more important to get my certifications to finish my my courses, and after that maybe I'll be there.
Okay, wow, it sounds like you've got a good plan. Well, best of luck with your plan. I hope it goes well for you, Jean.
Thank you so much, Amy.
All right. Julian, how are you today?
Hi, Amy. Fine, very good. And you?
Yeah, I'm great, thank you. Has your week been a good week so far?
Yes, it's going well.
Wonderful.
Okay. I'm working now in my new job.
I hope you're all having a great week and enjoying improving your English with us here on Verbling. Today's class is a speaking class and it's advanced level. So do come along in if you've booked a slot. If you would like to watch, you're very welcome to join us, and you can also comment. And our topic today is the future of language, which is obviously pretty important and relevant to most of us here on Verbling, because the whole point of this company is to help people learn another language. So what exactly is going to happen with language in the future? We're going to be discussing that with the use of a little interesting article which has some statistics about various languages and what could possibly happen as time goes on. So do come along in. While we're waiting for everybody to get here, if you are new to Verbling, or if you have only been with us for a short time, you might like to investigate some of the features that are available. So if you're watching this is a class, and this is where we have one teacher and several students, up to 9. But you can also access private tutoring sessions, which is basically where you have a class with a teacher, just you and the teacher, one-on-one. And we also have a new feature called tandem lessons, where you can save money by joining a private class of another student. So that's 2 students to 1 teacher.
I am in São Paulo city. Yes, for a couple of days, and I am here for business. I have some meetings with customers and suppliers, and everything is going very well so far. It was a productive week.
Great, that's lovely to hear. I'm glad for you, Jer. I hope the rest of the week follows suit and is just as productive. And welcome to you.
Okay, thank you.
Giancarlo?
Hello, Amy. How are you? Yeah,
Giancarlo. Thank you. I don't think I've met you before, have I?
Yes, I met you some months ago.
Okay.
And I've been taking your classes, but I didn't have the opportunity to take your classes again because of my job. But I am from Mexico. It's nice to see you.
Thank you. It's lovely to see you too. I'm sorry, Giancarlo, that maybe I don't have a memory, but it might come back to me as we get to know each other a bit better, and it's great to see you. So what's your job, Giancarlo? What's taking you away from Verbling?
I'm sorry?
What's your job?
I can hear you.
Ah, you can't hear me. Let's just see. Can the rest of you still hear me okay?
Yeah, it is my mic, teacher. It is my mic. Sorry.
Okay, no worries.
Don't know. I like kangaroos.
Awesome. So it's lovely to see you, Hussein, and welcome.
Thank you so much.
Bruno, hello.
Hello, teacher. How are you?
I'm well, thank you, Bruno. Have I met you before?
No, I don't think so.
Wonderful. In that case, hello. It's nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
Where are you from, Bruno?
So I'm from Brazil.
Brazil. Wonderful. Which part of Brazil?
So I am originally from Brasilia.
Okay, you're from the capital.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're not there right now. You've moved.
Yeah, now currently I live in Toronto, Canada.
Yeah.
Okay,
so there's your reason for learning English, I'm guessing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, wonderful. It's lovely to meet you. We're going to be talking a little bit more about that topic shortly, but first of all, I'm just going to say hi to everybody. So welcome, Bruno.
Thank you. Welcome. Thank you.
Jer, hello. How are you today?
Hello, Amy. I'm good. Thank you for asking.
How's your week been going?
It was very good as well. I am traveling this week.
Yeah.
Yes, but I'll go back home tomorrow in the evening.
Okay. So where have you been traveling?